legit, baby. We're going to the Super Bowl. Let's go. No, we're not going to the Super Bowl, but in an all serious note, it was a good win by the New Orleans Saints. Hello, everybody. I am Alex Weister, and thank you all for tuning into another video. This is the Saints recap for the Washington football team game. It was a pretty good game to watch, honestly. I mean, we won 33-22, and there's not that many complaints, of course, besides special teams. So, once again, if you like the video, then like the video, and if you like the content on my channel, then feel free to drop a subscribe. Let us get straight into the recap after that little rambunctious intro that we had. Starting off, it was a good team win overall as we go into a bye week this week. And we should be getting a lot of players back. One of them, if I remember correctly, should be Michael Thomas. So we'll see how he fits back into the offense with Jameis Winston under quarterback. I think it's going to help Jameis a lot. I mean, he's going to have an easy safety blanket to throw to. But that's not here nor there. Let's get into the recap from the game against the Washington football team. There still are some concerns for the team. And I'm not even close to say that they're a playoff team yet. I still need to see them string along some wins before I say that they're a playoff team. Of course, we still are on a win-loss pattern, so the game against the Seahawks next week should determine, next week, should determine if we are going to break that pattern or not. We should, based on the matchup that we have, but I'll get into that a little bit later. After the bye week, we have a bunch of players coming back. As I said, not only Michael Thomas, but hopefully, all of our offensive linemen come back and are healthy, and we should be getting Traquan Smith back, but Deontay Harris did get injured, so we're going to have a couple of pieces shuffling in and out of the roster. But overall, we're going to be getting healthier, and we should be able to string along some wins with the talent we are getting back. First, let's start off with the offense from this game. Finally, we get Alvin Kamara back to what he was of old. 71 yards on the ground, averaging 4.4 yards per carry with a touchdown, and 5 receptions for 51 yards and a touchdown. He is looking like the old Kamara that quickly became my favorite player on the team. He's just been playing phenomenal these past couple of weeks, and I'm glad to see that we are relying on him and allowing him to actually carry us through games. But it's not just him. The passing game was really, really good, and I'm going to say it right here, right now on video, and I hinted towards it the last couple of weeks. Marquez Callaway is legit. I don't know what else to say. He's just an absolute beast. He had 4 receptions for 85 yards and 2 touchdowns, and I don't know if any of you saw it, but that Hail Mary touchdown reception to end the first half that put us up and pretty much shoved all the momentum for the New Orleans Saints. And I think I need to start recording when I'm watching these games because my reaction to that was absolutely priceless. I was freaking out. I was in shock pretty much the rest of the game because I can't recall a time where the Saints have really ever had a Hail Mary touchdown pass like that. Of course, it's probably happened in the past, but that's probably before my time of watching the Saints or from times that I can't remember. Now, let's look at Jameis Winston, of course, the man that everybody likes to talk about from the New Orleans Saints. He had his highest pass amount this season by 7 passes, which is a good sign because it's showing that Sean Payton is going to allow Jameis Winston to become more of a quarterback, and he's hearing our pleas. Now, he only threw 50% on these 30 passes, but he did look like a decent to good quarterback. He threw an interception on his first drive, and, well, it looked like he was going to be downhill from there, and it was going to be a pretty rough day for us. But after that interception, he was pretty good. I mean, he had some good passes. Now, he threw a lot of incompletions, but that came with the pressure from the Washington football team defensive line, and he was able to throw the ball away instead of throwing interceptions, which is a good thing. I would much rather see him throw the ball away than throw it to the defender. So I'm glad to see he's making improvements, and if we can see what we got from him tonight, or not tonight, but from the game against the Washington football team, I'm a happy man. I can see him being a playoff quarterback. He's not making many mistakes, and he's got good pocket awareness. Now, of course, that defensive line for the Washington football team is really, really good, and Chase Young was getting back to him, but he was able to handle that pressure once he kind of figured out how it was coming at him, and I was impressed with it, I will say. handling the pressure from that defensive line was pretty good from him nonetheless. Now, with all the injuries to the O-line and 3 receivers being out, I'm happy with what we've done so far on offense. I really am. Now, we are still kind of stagnant. This game, not so much. We were able to move the ball pretty well, and I'm happy with it. But in weeks past, we were kind of stagnant, and I'm hoping to see we can kind of break that mold as the season goes on. Now, let's shift over to the defense. That's where we have been the strongest this season, I would say. I mean, defensively, it was another good game, but how much of this good defense came from the Washington football team just having a below-average offense? Personally, I'll say it wasn't that much. I think our defense just had a really, really good game. Now, there was a lot of drives where their offense was able to move the ball on us, but our defense held a lot and was able to slow them down enough for us to get this win. Now, when you want to look at the defensive line, the pressure was okay. It was okay to say the least. We had two sacks, 5 TFLs, and 8 QB hits. It was good, but not elite. I'm hoping to see that this defensive line can become an elite unit like we've seen in past years. If we can do that, this entire defensive unit is going to be amazing. As I was going to get into now, the secondary. We did allow 131 rushing yards and 2 rushing touchdowns this game, but I don't think that's too much to be worried about. We were able to slow the running down later on into the game, which was good. We were able to adapt to what the circumstances were given, and it was good from us, I will say that. Now, the linebackers and secondary were where we shined this game. P. Werner, the rookie. Our rookies have been playing phenomenal this year, especially on the defensive end. P. Werner and Paulson Adebo have stepped in to the key spots that have been injured, with Quan Alexander being out. And Adebo, we haven't really had that many secondary injuries. He's just come in as a rookie and been our second best corner. I can't complain. Werner led the team in tackles this week. And of course, Paulson Adebo had our first pick of the game, which was a pretty good pick. The ball was a little bit underthrown, but he was able to see that the ball was underthrown, not commit a DPI turnaround, and get the pick. I'm impressed with how he's played this season, and that's really all I got to say about it. He's just been a fantastic addition, and he has been a very key part on how this secondary and defense as a whole has improved. Now, we had 12 pass deflections and 2 interceptions this game. That's nothing short of really, really, really good. Now, the picks weren't impressive reads because, of course, Taylor Heineke didn't have the greatest throws on these picks, but the defense took the ball when it was given to them, which I cannot complain about. Now, I want to highlight Marshawn Lattimore, who has been fantastic this season. Just absolutely amazing. This game, he had half of our pass deflections, 6 pass deflections, and not only that, he held Terry McLaurin to 4 receptions for 46 yards. He was on a streak of 60 or more receiving yards a game, and he was among the leaders in the league of receiving games with 60 or more receiving yards. He was with elite company, and Lattimore was able to shut him down pretty much the entire game. The receptions that did come for Terry McLaurin, I'm pretty sure came when Lattimore was not covering him. Lattimore did an amazing job against one of the fastest and scariest receivers in the league. There's a reason why he has the nickname Scary Terry. He's a very, very good receiver, and I've just been very impressed with how Marshawn Lattimore has played this season. We are seeing the Defensive Rookie of the Year that we saw when he got drafted, and I couldn't be more happy. I mean, our defensive unit, it's been suspect in a few games, but when they play amazing. Now, to the final unit of that game was special teams. And man, special teams has sucked. We cut Rosas because he was a horrible kicker, and we signed Cody, Double Doink, Parkey, and that went just about as well as you could have expected, and he ended up getting cut after the game, just as Rosas did. He had 2 missed extra points that game. That's just completely unacceptable, and funny enough, his last kick for us was a doink off of the post. Just a sad career for Cody Parkey, and he's always going to be known as the man who had the double doink in the playoffs. So there it is. We had Cody Parkey for one game. He sucked, and we got rid of him. Right now, our only active kicker on the roster is a man with the name Brian Johnson, who is out of Virginia Tech, and he is a rookie. So hopefully he can step in while Will Lutz is still out and just make extra points. That's all I'm asking. Make extra points and short field goals if we need to, because we haven't had that, and that's one of the main reasons why we're losing these games, because we cannot rely on our kickers. But when Will Lutz comes back, we'll have the reliant kicking that we know, and we should be able to win games on kicking if it comes down to it. Now that's going to do it for the recap part. Let's look ahead to the 5-game stretch that we have after the bye week. We have the Geno Smith-led Seahawks as Russell Wilson has gone on IR. That should be a game that we win. Their defense is not great from what I've seen, and their offense now. If Geno Smith can beat us, that's a problem. We're going to have an issue, especially because of the game after that in the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at home. With our home opener this year, it looks like home field advantage isn't that big of a factor for us right now. That game I will actually be at, so I will have footage from that game, so I will be able to share that with you guys when the game recap comes to. After that, we have the Falcons at home. That should be a win. That's really all I have to say about that. We have the Titans on the road. That is going to be the second hardest game of that 5-game stretch. Now, the Titans, yes, they did lose to the Jets, but they are still a very, very good team that we have to keep an eye on. And then after that, the final game of the 5-game stretch is the Eagles on the road. Their offense is able to put up points. They beat the Panthers, who beat us. We should still be able to win that game, though. If we can get out of that stretch 4-1 or 3-2, I will be happy. Wins over the Bucs and or the Titans will give me a step towards me believing that this team can be a playoff team just a little bit more. So we'll see how that goes, of course. I'll be recapping those games after they happen, and I will be working on the game picks. Of course, I'm a little bit behind on those. I'll be working on those and hopefully getting those out later today, so stay tuned for that. That's going to do it for this week's Saints recap. Thank you all for tuning in once again. If you liked the video, then like the video. And if you like my content, drop a sub. Thank you all for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.